Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome. Well, we're seeing people arrive for the Pitch 360. So we're just going to take a few moments as all our guests arrive today. We have an enormous number of people subscribed to attend today. So just going to take a few moments as you all start trickling in onto the platform, and we will get ourselves settled and we'll get ourselves sorted, because we're in for a very exciting afternoon, I can tell you. So just a few more moments as people arrive. This is a real highlight of the Innovate Finance calendar, because today 8 companies are pitching for the judges' winner. They basically decide, I wish it could be you, I wish it could be me. Actually, do you know what? I'm quite happy it's not me. It's all down to the judges. We have an amazing lineup of judges today. So we're looking forward very much to hearing the pitches as everybody arrives. So welcome one, welcome all. Looking forward to getting started any moments now. So this is a very exciting day for all. We've got about 100 people, nearly 100 people kind of turning up. So they're pouring in as we speak. So just to introduce myself, my name is Julia Streets. I have quite a strange mashed up life, if I'm honest. So my day job is I'm a founder and a CEO of my own business. I set up 13 years ago, all about fintech, helping businesses to grow. That's what we do all day. It's business development, marketing, communications, brand building. That's what we do all day. In addition to that, I'm deeply passionate about talent and diversity and inclusion in particular. And I have a podcast called Diversity Podcast, which we work very closely with Innovate Finance. It's no coincidence we've had Charlotte Crosswell on the show. We last year recorded at the Innovate Finance Global Summit as well. I know they're very, very aligned in consideration around where we find our talent in the industry. And then thirdly, I'm also a stand-up comedian. So for me, this is my kind of gig. So as nearly 100 people have arrived onto the Zoom platform to get started today, it is my pleasure to be your host, to be your MC for the afternoon as we navigate this incredible session. A few more people coming in and then we will get started more formally. But welcome one, welcome all to Pitch 360 with Innovate Finance. So let's get started. You are most welcome to Pitch 360, run by Innovate Finance. This is their 5th year, can you believe it? 5th year of their fintech competition. It's ever popular. Normally it's on the main stage in their huge summit, the Innovate Finance Global Summit every year, but of course now we're doing this on platforms. So welcome to my home. It's a great pleasure to be here. My name is Julia Streets. I'm the founder and CEO of Streets Consulting. I am your MC for the afternoon, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be hosting this incredible lineup of 8 companies who will all be pitching for the judges' vote. Let's put it this way: we've had 100 applications, 100 different firms have all applied to be part of this grand finale as well. 22 were shortlisted. There was some frenetic voting over the weekend. We're down to 7 categories with 1 wildcard category. 10,000 votes were cast to nominate these 8 finalists today. And so, of course, we have 8 presenters this afternoon. And if you think about what that means in terms of social media impact, you're looking really at about 600,000 people have been reached on Twitter, not only in the UK, not only across Europe, but also across the States and even as far as Australia. So welcome one, welcome all. It's going to be a phenomenal afternoon. Of course, every good event needs some social media. So best way to do that is to follow Innovate Finance if you haven't already at InFin. And the hashtag for the afternoon is hashtag Pitch360. Hashtag Pitch360. Do please tweet and post and like and share and follow and retweet because it all helps not only to talk about the initiative itself, but more particularly is to support these incredible entrepreneurs and their businesses as they pitch for the judges' vote this afternoon. And I talk about the categories very briefly. Let me just quickly run you through what the various categories are going to be. So digital assets, enterprise digital transformation, personal financial management and wellness, lending, payments, also Regtech and capital markets and wealth tech. And as I mentioned earlier, there is also a wild card category as well. and every good competition needs an amazing lineup of judges. So what I will do right now is ask our esteemed panel of judges, please to switch your cameras on, reveal yourselves to this incredible audience, and I will introduce you all to the crowd. So as those cameras come on, let me just tell you a bit about each of those judges, because we have an amazing lineup, actually, very, very different. Not only innovators and entrepreneurs and investors and corporates and supporters, advisors, one and all. So allow me to introduce them to you. First of all, Ezechi Britton, who is the founder. Ezechi, where are you? Give us a wave. Fabulous to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Founding member, principal and CTO in residence at Impact X Partners. 15+ years in fintech experience, a software developer right the way through to being a co-founder and a CTO in residence. Impact X is a VC firm focused on supporting underrepresented entrepreneurs, and he's also the co-founder of Code Untapped, a digital skills accelerator. An entrepreneur also in a previous life as well. It's actually wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Fabulous. Our next judge is Isabel Gallo. Isabel, where are you? Give us a wave. Wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for being with us today. She is a partner at Briga, Paris and London-based VC fund of approximately 250 million euros, all about investing in seed and Series A startups right the way across Europe. She's an ex-strategy consultant at Bain & Company. She launched her own startup, and at Briga, she focuses on fintech, insurtech, and health tech, and has actually an investor in about 30 of the fintechs and startups. So Isabel, wonderful to see you. Thanks again for joining us today. Thank you. Our third judge is Rafael Esteban. Rafael, give us a wave. Great to see you. Thank you very much. He is an investor at Santander Innovate. Now, he's been involved with 12 of the Santander Innovate companies of about 30+ investments, been actively involved in about 12 of those different companies. And prior to that, he was for a couple of years at Santander in compliance, strategy, both those functions, which of course is everybody in fintech, regtech, health tech, any tech, particularly in the world of financial services, will know the compliance and the strategy must sit hand in hand. Rafael, wonderful to see you. Thanks again for joining us today as a judge at Pitch360. Sam Edge is our next judge. Sam, give us a wave. Wonderful to see you. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. He is all about fintech business development, where he's the strategy lead at Amazon Web Services, responsible for the development and execution of strategic initiatives, all designed to help fintech startups scale and to grow. If you think about the ecosystem, this is the ecosystem right here today on Zoom, and of course much further beyond as well. It's all about relationships with key market participants, and he brings 12+ years of experience across financial services, ranging from consulting, enterprise, and venture investing as well. So Sam, thank you for joining us. Great to see you. Thank you for that. And last but no means least is Samantha Murray. Samantha, hello, hi, welcome. Thanks for joining us again. Senior Innovation Manager at Lloyds Banking. She's a strategist with more than 10 years of experience in the financial services sector. She's deeply passionate about challenging the status quo, also about serving others, and also getting stuff done, which I think is the best biography I've read of all the judges, just getting stuff done. She works across boundaries, both in the public and also private sector, third-party groups as well. So Samantha, it's wonderful to have you here. Thank you very much indeed. So ladies and gentlemen, that's our panel of judges. They have a very tough job this afternoon as they decide who is going to be crowned the winner of the Pitch360. So thank you all very much indeed. I invite you now to switch off your cameras and to remain on mute, and we'll be coming to you later. Fabulous. Great. So let me tell you how the format's going to work. So it is each presenter, I'm going to bring them up, and they have 3 minutes. They have a 3-minute pitch. We will know when they get to the end of the 3 minutes, partly because I will be running a timer, but also within 1 minute of the end of the pitch, I will be holding up a 1-minute sign. And then when we get to the end, you will hear, we're very high tech today. Actually, there will be a horn marking the end of that time. We will then open up for judges' questions, and we have a further 3 minutes. Again, I will run a clock. So to our esteemed judges, brevity is the name of the game. And of course, for those who are answering as well, keen to hear as many questions as we can. Please be brief. And then at the end of the 3 minutes, we will then stop and move on to our next competitor today as well. Now, obviously, audience, you may or may not see some of the signs. You'll certainly hear the hooter, and you will hear the questions as well. I do encourage everybody, actually, if you can set it up so you can hide non-video participants. It just means that whoever is presenting will come up to the center of your screen as a lit camera. And of course, our friends at Innovate Finance will be spotlighting our presenters as they go, many of whom have presentations, some of whom have video. So this is a truly interactive experience today. We will hear the 8 different pitches, and then the judges will go off and deliberate. At that moment, it will be my great pleasure to have a quick interview with the head of strategy at Onfido. Now, they were the winners of the Regtech category back in 2017. So really keen to hear what this has meant to them since they won a couple of years ago, or a few years ago. So, exciting afternoon ahead. I think it's time we got started. So, if you are ready, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to start the competition. We're going to begin with the first category, which is digital assets category. And I'm going to invite him now to light his camera, remove his mute, as I welcome from Wirex, the co-founder, Georgie Sokolov. So Georgie, wonderful to see you. Give us a wave. Now, I've got timers set. I've got hooters at the ready. I think you've got a presentation, if that's correct. So yep. You give me a thumbs up when you are ready, and we will start the time.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Cool.
So when you're happy, the time starts now.
Right. The idea we started with about 5 years ago was to make it possible to buy a coffee with Bitcoin, which was virtually impossible at the time. The industry has changed a lot since then, and we have as well. And now we're not just a card allowing you to spend Bitcoin, we're a multifunctional mobile banking app combining multi-currency accounts and cards and cryptocurrency features. We won a number of similar awards with our product. The most impactful one to date probably being the Finsum Startup Contest in Japan in 2016, which eventually led to our Series A investment. Unlike most challenger banks, we are not just trying to marginally improve the banking experience using the same legacy technology. We're using the benefits of blockchain to build a dramatically better offering. And it is supported by a diversified and profitable business model. Over 3 million users worldwide, almost 300,000 cards issued in Europe and Asia Pacific, and numerous positive reviews on Trustpilot and Seedly in Asia are living proof that the product is working and the product is needed. The main reason why the number of our cards is by far lower than the overall number of users is that we're only issuing them in Europe and several Asian Pacific countries right now, including Australia, which I mentioned. But we're on track to launching cards in the US later this year, followed by Japan, Canada, where we have quite substantial waiting lists. It isn't just user numbers that are growing, it's pretty much all numbers, transactions, volumes, revenues, etc. And probably the best part about this growth is that it is profitable, even in these challenging days that we're facing today. Our main revenue generators are exchange and membership fees. We also get revenue share with card issuers and are very close to obtaining direct membership with Visa and MasterCard, which will further increase our revenue potential. Some figures about the current stage: over $3 billion processed via the platform, very healthy growth, and quite a number of transactions happening while this 3-minute presentation lasts. What makes us different from a traditional neobank is the benefits and opportunities of blockchain technology and decentralized finance that we bring. What makes us stand out in the crypto space is the rock-solid approach to regulation. We're a licensed e-money institution with UK FCA, and we're pursuing similar licenses in every geography of operation, which not only creates barrier to entry for competitors, but also gives us visibility into the future in this heavily regulated space. On the investment side, we also have quite a healthy track record, having raised our Series A in 2015, and
Your time
followed
is up.
by yeah.
I'm afraid your time is up. We have to leave it there. So
Thank
I'm
you.
just going to reset your time. Thank you very much for that
That's
indeed.
okay.
And I'm going to invite any of the judges to ask any questions. I wonder who would like to step forward and ask a question. Raphael, why don't you come to you first of all?
Yeah, thank you for that. So it will be great to understand a bit more about your cashback program and how does affect your economics. Thank you.
It affects our economics very positively. We obviously it's an expense for us. We invest in it. We subsidize it. It works in form of so people hold our project token, which is a form of membership fee, and the more you hold, the higher cashback and the lower fees you pay on the platform. And of course, it is a cost, but the benefits, obviously, we do all this modeling, constantly testing and changing the conditions. So right now we see that it's bringing us a huge number of users. So the biggest part of our growth is purely organic. We grow almost with no paid marketing, if any at all. So yes, we subsidize it, but we have sources of revenue to subsidize it from, interchange and other things. As soon as we get principal membership with MasterCard and Visa, and this is actually news for next week, not official yet, we have been granted principal membership with MasterCard. Our pool of revenue, which we will be able to share with our users, will further increase. So in short, it costs us, but it brings us a lot more revenue and users.
Isabel, I think you had a question.
Yep, thanks, Julia. Thanks, Georgie. I was just wondering, if investors believe that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies can be a store of value, then those holders will likely overwhelmingly opt to hold rather than to spend their digital money. So don't you think that the demand for your product will be capped at some point?
Bitcoin is just one of the currencies that we have.
Yeah, but it's 80% of the market cap, right?
Yeah. It's big in terms of market cap. So yes, there is a certain dependency on the market volatility, as we see more activity as market gets more volatile. But at the same time, we are not focused on investment. We're not focused on exchanges. We are a payment platform. And I just didn't have the time to talk about all these things, but the features we are building, they will allow for things like virtually instant, virtually free money transfers with people not even having to know that there's blockchain used in the background. So it is a factor, but we're not bound to Bitcoin's price or volatility or all of those things. So we have a fairly diverse list of sources of revenue, and yeah, that is not a concern.
Very good. And that pretty much brings us bang on time. So thank you both to Raphael and Isabel for your question. Georgie, thank you very much for presenting today from Wirex in the digital assets category. Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. And we're now going to move on to category number 2, which is all about enterprise digital transformation. And I'm going to ask him to light his camera. He's there already, poised, ready to go. Is Adi Ben-Ari of Applied Blockchain. He's the founder and CEO. So Adi, if you're ready, I will start the clock. Let me just quickly reset that. Just 2 seconds, if you would. Are you ready to go? Wonderful. The time is yours.
Thank you. Hi, so my name's Adi Ben-Ari. I'm the founder and CEO of Applied Blockchain. We do a number of things. So first of all, we specialize in cryptography and blockchains. We build bespoke solutions for our clients. And the third and most important now is that we've built our own platform called Silent Data. And this platform enables companies to collaborate using private sensitive data without actually sharing that data. So what's the problem we're trying to solve? First of all, we're all collecting data as individuals and as companies. There's personal data, transactional data, financial data. Some of it we share with others, and some of it we keep private to ourselves. And the best way to protect data today is actually not to share it in the first place. Now, we all live in a world with growing cyber threat. In fact, there's really big numbers behind cyber, and it's a growing problem. As we share more data with others, or if on the other side of it, we're collecting data from others, that cyber footprint is increasing, right? And the surface attack for attackers to target is growing. So again, it's better not to share the data in the first place. On the other hand, if we're not sharing data, then it's very difficult to learn about each other. And if we're a business and we're dealing with other businesses, or we're a financial institution and we're taking risk on others, then we have a blind spot. If we can't learn and we can't access data about, about our counterparts, then we're taking more risk. So we have a problem here. Now, wouldn't it be amazing if we could gain insights and assurances about that sensitive private data held by those other parties without requiring them to actually hand over that data? So can you imagine if we could reduce our risk, understand more about financial resilience of people and companies, understand about compliance, understand about agreements in place, without actually having to have the data presented to us or shared with us in the first place? We've developed a platform called Silent Data, which solves just that. And actually, the data isn't even shared with the platform. On top of the platform, we've built a number of applications, and underpinning it, we have some advanced cryptography, which we developed. The data sources, the data can come from internal systems held by companies, for example, their accounting software. It could come from third parties, for example, the bank, or again, accounting or government, or from mobile apps of individuals. The assurances that we can provide about that private sensitive data include the origin, so where's the data come from, the timestamp, so when was the data actually analyzed, and what are the properties of that data without giving away the private information. So for example, we can prove that data is within a certain range or fulfill certain criteria without revealing the data itself. Where this is useful is in managing financial risk. So we can learn about the risk and what's going on inside a company or a person's account without actually seeing the data itself again. And similarly, it's useful for compliance. Now, how much do we earn as a company? I'm not going to tell you because that's our sensitive data. But here's proof on the platform that we earn.
Addy, I'm afraid I have to interrupt you there. I'm afraid we're out of time. So I don't even notice I have a slightly different horn there for the second category. So now let's go straight to judges' questions. Thank you very much for your presentation. I wondered whether Ez or Samantha would like to ask a question. If I could ask you to put your cameras back on again. Samantha, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you could give me a bit of insight into the experience and skills held by your leadership team.
Yes, so I'm the founder and CEO. I actually worked for Lloyds Banking Group for a while. So I have background in financial services and also in insurance and 20 years in enterprise software. I've got a co-founder who's my CTO, who has 10, 15 years again in software development. My head of product and technical research, Oxford University graduate with 10 plus years of cryptography and low-level programming. So we've got a very experienced team, quite a technical team. What I didn't get to say in the presentation is that for 5 years we've been working with Barclays, Shell, Toyota, the UN, and so on, some very large institutions. And so we've got this enterprise experience. We actually put one of the first blockchain solutions in enterprise live with Shell. So we've been working at deploying this advanced cryptography into large institutions, large enterprises. And that's really what's brought us to building this platform and also designing it in a way that it can be easily deployed with minimum friction to big companies and to a large base.
Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. And Ez, did you have a question?
Yeah, just a quick one. Hi, Addy. When a client works with us, do both parties need to have this platform in place?
So it depends where the data is coming from. And we've actually tried to minimize friction here. So the answer is no. If the data is coming from a platform, then Silent Data just integrates with that platform. So, for example, if someone's holding their data in some accounting software, and that's a third-party platform, then they don't need to do anything. They just allow the platform to access that third-party platform. So they don't need to install anything. And similarly, the party that's looking at the insights can gain those by logging into our platform. They don't need to install anything. If you want to go deeper into internal data sources, then yes, there's some integration.
Brilliant. And what does the sales journey look like when you're onboarding customers?
Yeah, so it's a SaaS model, and we're basically building out these applications now, and we're selling it as an online platform for both sides, for businesses to really provide assurance and expose assurance to others about themselves. On the one hand, but through different applications, and on the other side to the counterparts who want to minimize their risk with whoever they're working with and want those assurances. So think about today, you know, in the days of COVID, you really don't know what's going on inside other businesses and your counterparts and so on, and the risk is much higher. And so it's quite an easy conversation to have with people about understanding more about that risk and getting through that without having to have everybody open up all of their data sources and their commercially sensitive data.
Good, thank you.
And right at that point, we're about 2 minutes 59, so I won't sound the buzzer, but it is the end of the time. Adi, thank you very much for your presentation. Judges, thank you for your question. That's Adi from Applied Blockchain in the second category, all about enterprise digital transformation. So now let's move on to our third category and our third presenter. This is all about personal financial management and wellness. It is a great pleasure to welcome to your screens the CEO and founder, Stella Smith from Perks. So Stella, when you've got your presentation ready, give me the thumbs up and the time. I'm resetting the clock and the time is yours from now.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, well-being, the state of being happy, healthy or comfortable. Factors that contribute to well-being include health, wealth, recognition, education and social interaction. These factors are important and far more acute in all our minds as we live through a global pandemic. Corporations often provide employee benefits which cover basic well-being. The contingent workforce, contract workers, the gig economy, and employees of smaller businesses often have little or no access to these benefits. There are around 5 million individuals in the contingent workforce in the UK, together with an estimated 10 million employed in the SME sector without access to any kind of well-being benefits. Same human being, but different worker status or employer will mean a different level of support and care. Perks offers well-being benefits for everyone, including the contingent workforce at a super low cost. It has self-serve technology, including bespoke customization of benefits and design in minutes, delivered both via the desktop and an app. Perks gives higher purchasing power to the individual, negotiating preferred or corporate pricing and discounts. Benefits include access to a doctor, a counsellor, an eye test, virtual gym classes, discounted gyms, health tips, budgeting, information on credit scores, debt, and there are over 2,500 retail discounts giving cash back on everyday spend and much, much more. And all this, including the unlimited GP service for only £3.75 a month. In 2018, Perks was just an idea. I was a business owner not able to find affordable well-being benefits for my team. We designed and built and launched a product quickly. It was revenue generating on day one, but we realized Perks had a vast audience, supported by positive trends like well-being, mass adoption of tech and the future of work. On the 14th of June last year, we employed our first 2 people. Since then, we have closed nearly £1 million in funding, appointed the ex-MD of Google UK as our chairman. We launched Perks Australia last week, and we're now 8 employees in the UK, 1 in Australia, with 17 full-time devs supporting us in Northern India. An incredible, fortunate and humbling experience to date. We believe it should be a fundamental human right for everyone to have access to basic healthcare services and financial education. We believe that everyone has a right to well-being. We are perfectly placed to leverage our work to date to make a tangible difference. We utilise technology to democratise. We have traction, a real product being used by real people solving a real issue today. We are scalable with the credentials and opportunity to successfully build a sustainable and profitable business for the future. In a backdrop of severe uncertainty, we know that well-being, including physical, mental and financial health, is critical now. Together, we can innovate more, build more and impact more now. Winning this pitch would contribute practically to our mission of positively impacting 1 million people by 2025. Please join us in our mission and help us. I'm Stella Smith and we are Perks. Thank you.
Well, Stella, you had 9 seconds to go, so I don't need to set the buzzer at all. Thank you very much indeed for that. Well, let's go straight to judges' questions. Judges, please put your cameras on. And who has a question? Isabel, did I see you raise your hand there?
Yeah, thanks, Stella. I was just wondering about your go-to-market strategy and in your what does your conversion rate look like, and where does that lead you to in terms of cost of acquisition?
Sure. So, well, we're only a year old is the starting answer. So we have 1,000 clients right now. We're building an engine currently for performance marketing. So, you know, the data is probably not there in terms of conversion. At the moment, it looks like 100% because it's all come from, you know, a known sales pipeline. But we have 3 different areas that we're targeting. So large scale enterprise clients have a proportion of their workforce which are contingent, and clearly they don't have benefits in place. So that is an individual sales team, and we expect a high rate of conversion because it's in person. SMEs and direct to consumer, different. So we have different strategies for each of our 3 segments. So at the moment, we probably don't have enough data to tell you our true customer acquisition cost because it looks too cheap.
Great, thank you. Who else has a question for Stella? Samantha, there we are, over to you.
I just wonder if you thanks Stella, I was wondering if you could give me a bit more insight into what makes you different to some of the other companies out in the market, such as Perkbox.
Yeah, of course. So we use self-serve tech. So it's a self-serve sign-up, which means that we can effectively deliver to end user more cost effectively. So that's the first bit. That's the bit that's disruptive, really. Our job now is to disrupt the ways that we're in. So we were born from well-being. We weren't born from a high five or a discount. And for me, what's really important is that we get that affordable healthcare, the affordable well-being part, not just the engagement and the sort of high five element of benefits as it's been seen historically. How we differentiate going forward, well, I've got some really cool stuff up my sleeve. So if we look at Perks Australia, it's like version 2. And for us, we want to try and build something that's world-class rather than just market-leading. So self-serve tech is the first bit. We also have built a piece that customizes in a matter of seconds for free. So if you were dealing with one of the large players in our industry, you'd have to pay significant thousands to personalize or low-level white label. For us, you can do it in a couple of seconds. You can be a 3-man bakery on the high street for free.
Great, wonderful, thank you very much. Ez and Raphael, any questions for Stella?
Yeah, who pays the fee? Is it the employer or the contractor?
Both. So that's another thing that makes us different is basically our user journeys are really flexible. So you can color the thing in, you can deliver it to whoever you want, people can choose who they pay, they can choose what they bolt on. So it's super flexible and you can decide to either pay for or send out on a self-pay basis.
And what level of engagement have you had from those people on the platform?
Which I think is not great. But industry standard is 40. I want to go for 100%, but at the moment it's 81% engagement. I also think they use a low-level measure, which we want to set the bar a bit higher. We want to test ourselves a bit more in terms of the actual engagement in the product. So when you look at Perks Australia, it's all about direct consumer and putting the human back into it and making benefits cool, because at the moment they're not.
Well, we're going to end on leave benefits cool. Excellent. Well, let's leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Stella. That's Stella from Perks. Judges, thank you for all your questions once again. And so we're going to move on to our next category. So that was Stella from Perks, personal financial management and wellness. Now we move on to the category of lending. And it's a great pleasure as he lights up his camera to welcome the CEO, Daniel Lane. Daniel, wonderful to see you. Thank you for being with us today from Quotevine. So Daniel, I don't know whether you have a presentation ready. If you'd like to take a couple of seconds just to get set up on that. And then when you are ready, give me a thumbs up and 3 minutes will be yours. Very good. Over to you.
Asset finance, lending money secured on assets other than property, is a huge business and growing rapidly as consumers and businesses migrate from ownership to usership. Whereas once alternative finance was used only by businesses that couldn't secure a bank loan, it's now the most popular method of external finance. Younger businesses are 5 times more likely than the more established to use an alternative financing option. I'm Daniel Lane from Quotevine, a UK fintech with a mission to help businesses in the automotive, asset and consumer finance spaces be future ready. And today I'm showing you Cora, our new pricing and quoting tool for asset finance. The ability to quote accurately whenever and wherever needed is vital for any salesperson, but existing tools are built with legacy tech that ties users to a single device, risks data breaches, and limits customer connection and innovation. Designed, developed, and deployed exclusively in the cloud, Cora keeps data secure and makes quotes available at any time on any device. Cora releases users from desktop decision-making with the ability to quote on their laptop, tablet, or even mobile. Let me show you how quick and easy Cora is to use. So all I'm doing here is entering the cost of my asset, any deposit I have to put down on it. Payment profile looks good. There's going to be some value left in it at the end of the contract, so that's going in there. And then lastly, the commission that I want to earn from putting this deal together. Press calculate, that's done. Now I can save this. look up my customer by their company number, pull that straight in from Company's House, give it to me as an account manager, save, and that's now ready to get emailed out to our customer. It really is as simple and quick as that. Now, Quotevine was born from a drive to create innovative and exciting products. We received our Series A in 2019 and have now grown to a team of 20 with a great mix of experienced hands and smart young things. And we've got a whole end-to-end future finance solution that Cora is just one part of. As the shift away from employment and towards entrepreneurship accelerates further, spurred on by those who take COVID redundancy as the chance to make that leap of faith, we believe that we can help our customers help their customers, the next generation of small business owners, build the economy of the future. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Daniel. And you literally stopped about 4 seconds before the end as well. So good timing. I think it's only right to point out, I did ask at the beginning whether you had slides. We couldn't see your slides, so I don't know whether it was a technical challenge. We get them lit. However, I think you told your story beautifully. So let's go straight to judges, if you would, to light your cameras. And no doubt you have lots of questions for Daniel. Who would like to go first? Isabel, did you have a question? I can see your hand going up, but I'm not sure that's you releasing your mute. But Ez, let's come to you.
Daniel, who is your product targeting?
Our product is targeted at finance brokers and actual finance funders themselves. So anybody who needs to be out there selling finance solutions to a small business.
So are these organizations who typically don't have a quoting platform or don't have that level of functionality, or are you focusing on new players who are coming into the market?
Both. So it may very well be that they do have a quoting facility at the moment, but as I said in the presentation, a lot of those tools are very old now. You know, thick client on the machine itself. So if you've got a computer at the office, all of your quotes on there are different to the quotes that you might have on your laptop. You can't take it with you if you're out in the field, you know, working with the small business owner, whether that be a farmer or a coffee shop owner. Whereas with Cora, you can have it with you all the time and have access to that data.
And does this product integrate with the existing treasury systems, collections platforms that an organization might already have in place?
So it's part of our whole platform. It's all API driven. And so it can be either integrated with our platform or with an existing platform. And that's a key part of our flexibility.
Cool, thank you.
Very good, excellent. So any other questions from Isabel or Raphael? And Raphael, let's come to you next.
Yeah, so Daniel, so how are you acquiring these customers, and what are more or less the capabilities of your sales team that you think makes them successful in this process?
We've been really, really blessed to have fantastic word of mouth in the industry, which has helped us acquire customers organically. As we're scaling now, we do have a sales team of 5. And those people are out there talking to existing industry players, talking to people who are bringing new innovation to the market. There's a lot of that going on at the minute, and getting in there and talking about our solutions and putting them in place. So a mixture of organic and direct sales.
Thank you very much. And any of the other judges have any questions for Daniel as well? Okay, Daniel, you've got another 20 seconds. Is there anything else you'd like to say within that time allocation? I give you that because I know your slides weren't working. So take your 20 seconds.
Oh, apart from, sorry that the slides weren't working, that's really annoying. We did have them and they were beautiful. So thanks to the team for putting those together.
Very good. Well, what a way to, nice way to thank the team. So Daniel, thank you very much indeed. Judges, thank you for your questions. Those of you who are watching, we have about 165 people tuned in. You'll be wondering perhaps why I'm not coming to Sam Edge for questions. There's a very good reason for that, which is one that we utterly respect, which is corporate communications approval. So we're delighted that Sam could be a judge. However, unfortunately, he's not authorized to contribute, or by asking any questions. So that'll be why I'm not ignoring him, I promise. So let's move on then to category 5. So this is all about payments. So I'm going to now invite the COO to light his camera. and welcome to the presentation from Paycor, Dan Meninkoff. So Dan, wonderful to see you. Thanks very much for joining us today. I'm going to set the clock whenever you're ready. So do you have a presentation today?
Yep.
So give me a thumbs up. I will start the clock on your instruction, provided it doesn't take too long. Excellent. The time starts now.
Hi, I'm Dan Melnikov, the co-founder at Paycor.io. We provide payment infrastructure as a service, which means we establish connections with APIs, payment providers, and acquirers to bring a unified communication interface. We provide software as a service, such as an omni-channel payment gateway and a merchant portal. We provide a platform as a service that you can use to operate an online payment system either for your internal needs or to provide services to your merchants. The payment world is in full digital transformation. There are now over 200 different ways to make electronic payments. The experience of managing payment services has grown much more fragmented. Companies are scaling their payment teams and investing to support new payment technologies. We establish connections with payment providers and acquirers and ensure their security, integrity, and stability. We provide an update payment application that you can use and don't have to think about how to support new payment technologies. We provide you with tools to rapidly adapt to constantly changing payment environment. While being in stealth mode, we tapped into personal savings and invested more than $1 million in the product development. Paycor.io is live now and has been providing services for almost 2 years. We are reinvesting the earnings to grow on our team and to deliver new products and features. The key metric of our business success is the number of transactions, which is constantly growing. We expect 8 million transactions per month by the end of this year. Our pricing is simple, transparent, and success-based. We only charge for successfully processed transactions. We plan to cover new markets and to expand our business to Benelux, Scandinavia, and the German-speaking countries in upcoming months. We will start sales in North America in January next year and Asia at the end of next year. Our customers are from a diverse set of industries, including finance services, education, and retail. We focus on medium-sized and online businesses and payment institutions. We're expecting to onboard 50 new customers by the end of this year. Payments should be safe, fast, and reliable. At the same time, online businesses should be ready for quick scaling and able to support new technologies. Our aim is to centralize and simplify the way of handling online payments to respond to the growing complexity. We're pleased to announce that the upcoming Paycor 2.0 will have rich analytics and greatly increased capabilities. The annual recurring revenue is expected to grow to $1.2 million by the end of this year. Paycor is ready for external capital, which is required to finance new product development, to create new revenue streams, to scale a number of marketing channels, and to grow our customer base. Our team has grown from 16 to 45 over the past few months, and we continue to hire new members to reinforce customer and technical support and of course, sales team. Meanwhile, we are looking for candidates who will help us to reach our sales, marketing, and product goals. Thank you. I would love to answer your questions.
Very good. And you had about 10 seconds left, actually, so you had plenty of time. So very good. Thank you very much for that. Let's invite the judges again to light their cameras and see who has any questions for you. Isabel, should we come to you? Oh, let's go to Ez first, who has hands up first of all. Over to you.
Sorry, a lot of information there. Brilliant pitch. Dan, you're doing about what, 5 million in volume every month. You're hoping to get to 8 million by the end of the year, 30 million by 2024, roughly speaking. What kind of volume do you need to hit to actually get to break even and profitability?
Yeah, so we are not talking about volumes. I told about transactions. So because we have transaction-based pricing, so now this year we're going to reach like $2.2 million US, but our target is in 5 years is to reach like $120 million.
ARR.
Yeah, but now we don't have a lot of customers at the moment, just a bunch of customers, and mainly they are based in Eastern Europe, and some of them it's just we'll start the sales in Western Europe. And next move is United States and Canada.
Great. Any other questions for Dan? Isabel.
Hi. How do you differentiate from the other players out there?
First of all, we are technical guys, so we are not a financial institution. We're not going to have a license to obtain a license from SE or any jurisdictions. So actually, we provide technical things for both online businesses and payment institution. If you would like to run, for example, a payment institution, you need a certain software to run it. Either you can buy it or develop yourself, or you can rent it as we provide as a service. So this is the huge difference between what we had between us and other players or tech guys. Like just as example, for example, there is Amazon Web Services. A lot of companies uses this for to deploy applications and so on. So we just tried the same but for payments.
Great, thank you very much indeed. Any of the other judges have any questions? We still have a good minute to go, so if any other questions for Den?
I'm happy to jump in if no one's got another question.
Please do, you're very welcome.
So it looked like Sam was about to unmute herself. Has she got a question? Oh,
no,
okay.
all good, okay.
So kind of building off of Isabel's question and differentiation, what's the sales journey look like for you guys? You say you don't have many customers right now, so how do you build up to that big increase over the next 3-4 years?
Yeah, this is because, our average check is quite big. I mean, because from one side, there is a payment institution that generate like a 1/3, 1/4 of our revenue. As well, we are working with online businesses. They have a lot of transactions. So that's the reason why we are focusing on both audiences in order to scale our business. So more customer means more transactions, means more money.
Okay, and how do you keep your operational costs down? Because trying to make money in the payment space is really difficult because you have to have massive volumes to really get anywhere with this. So how do you keep those
three seconds? I'm afraid we're going to be out of time. We will never know. We will never know. So you can follow up with a question on that, Den. Thank you very much, Den from Paycor. Thank you very much indeed for the payments. So again, judges, if I could ask you to switch your cameras off, that'd be wonderful. Den, thank you for your contribution there and your pitch, which was great. So now let's go move on to the next category, which is all about Regtech. So I'm going to invite the UK country head of APX to now present. So Alan Blanchard. So Alan, your presentation is ready. You're clearly set. Good to go. I'm just going to restart the clock. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready, and I encourage you to remove the mute, just for the benefit of the presentation as you're getting set up. The time is yours when you give me a thumbs up.
Okay, let's go. Thanks, Julia. Afternoon, everyone. Thanks very much for giving us the opportunity to pitch APX to you. My name's Alan, as Julia said. I'm the country head here in the UK for APX. We are a regulatory technology company looking at solving some significant compliance issues. And I'm going to spend 3 minutes, hopefully no more, just running through how we go about doing that. So what we see with the companies we work with is that there's no shortage of awareness, knowledge, or budget in terms of the compliance activities within the financial industry. What there is a gap is in the accessibility of actionable compliance knowledge. So how do the compliance team communicate all of their compliance know-how to the frontline business person? How does that business person, how is he or she empowered to be able to make the right decision at the right time and offer the right products and services to their customers? And we find that to be true for a broad range of companies, from the small wealth managers to the global universal banks we work with. Same problem across the board. And the way that this problem is solved at the moment is with money. Institutions throw in enormous sums of money at compliance, and they are still fined and they are still penalized. So that's clearly not working. Now, let's give you a couple of examples that illustrate where this gap exists in practice. So with a private bank, for example, a relationship manager is offering structured products for sophisticated investors, complex products. The compliance process at the moment is it takes weeks for them to be able to sign that off and offer that to the customer. Not a good client experience who's expecting a digital experience. Where's my product? I want it now. And it's certainly not survivable for these analog processes, not survivable for business continuity crises like we've seen with COVID-19. The robo-advisor is working in investment advice, highly complex, highly regulated industry. You've got marketing rules, product distribution rules, suitability rules. Without digitizing those rules and having them available within the robotic processes, there's a break there somewhere. So there's a risk for the institution that they're not going to be able to survive and produce the right results for their client. So the answer, of course, is APIAC. So we have the technology to be able to do that with our digital rules. We're able to offer super simple interfaces where the business person can resolve their own regulatory queries. These rules can be plumbed into sophisticated robotic processes, and you can return the right answer at the right time. Now, we don't do this without a great team. So since being founded in 2017, we're now over 35 people strong, based in Zurich and also working in London and Lisbon, chock full of regulatory and technology experts. Our founder team are already seeing the fruits of their vision come to life. We recently won an award with Credit Suisse for the Regtech that we're using with them. And we're really seeing now companies really finding the benefits of what we do. So Regtech is happening right now. Part of the Regtech revolution is APIAC. We're certainly leading it, and we would love it if as many people can join us as possible. Thank you.
Ah, there we are. So you literally had 1 second left. I love your timekeeping. It's perfect. So let's get the judges back and lit, and let's hear questions from them. Isabel, let's come to you straight away.
Hi, Alan. I was just wondering, how does the product work, practically speaking, in the hands of the client?
In the hands of the client, let's say it depends who in the client you're talking about, because obviously we're talking to the legal and compliance team and the business people who are selling products and services. So if it's the business person, they have an interface, either a web app or an app on their phone, where they're able to set up a query and return a result to say, yep, you're allowed to do that, or no, you're not. We can also embed the rules in their existing system, so we can sit as a policeman, if you like. So when they're trying to go through their processes, we return a result, say, sorry, that's not allowed. For the legal and compliance team, they're gathering all of this legal and compliance knowledge that's currently managed in a spreadsheet in a digital platform. It's auditable, the knowledge stays centrally, everyone has access to the same information. So it kind of depends which stakeholder you're talking about as to what the experience is.
Okay, thanks.
Raphael, I think you had your hand up as well. Would you like to ask a question?
Yeah, thank you, Alan. So an easy one. So could you talk about your traction so far?
Yes, indeed. So we were founded in Switzerland in 2017. So the majority of our customers are based in Switzerland. Obviously, you've seen the use cases are centered towards private banking and wealth management. Unsurprisingly, there's quite a few of those in Switzerland. So we've automated really the cross-border business for our clients in Switzerland. So we are definitely generating revenue. We're post Series A. And we are expanding. So we're expanding into the UK, obviously. So I'm working on the clientele in London and across into the US. And we are hoping to break Asia this year as well, working out of Singapore. So we are certainly seeing no shortage of interest from clients. We get an awful lot of inbound queries coming into us. Obviously, everyone has the pain of compliance as it stands at the moment, and are looking to us to help them solve that.
Very good, excellent. Samantha and Ez, did you have any questions?
I have one for you, Alan. Thank you. I was just wondering how easy that integration's been with your clients to date, or how difficult, just because we know what banking technology is usually like.
Yes, we do. So we are API based. So you have the option to have it as super simple with zero integration at all. The regulatory rule sets can sit completely outside of the core banking systems, and we can access the questions and receive the answers without any integration at all. Or we can go very deep, and we can transfer our rule sets right into those systems and design the systems to query our rule sets like you would with any rules engine. So we're flexible in terms of how we go about it.
Okay, very good. Excellent. And Isabel, yes, let's come to you.
Sorry, I was just wondering, what do you sell to your clients in terms of return on investment?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we look at that in terms of payback. So what are your current costs? And they are obviously substantial. So how quickly does an investment in us pay itself back? So how much can we save you? How quickly can we do that? So it's not necessary, and not always necessarily a business generation element to it, although there is sometimes an element of that, but really it's a payback. How much of this money that's just spent on old-fashioned regulatory processes, how quickly can we turn that around and transform that?
And I'm afraid we have to wrap up there, Alan. I'm sorry to cut you short, but I'm afraid that's 3 minutes up. Thank you again, judges, for that, Alan from APIAC. Thank you very much indeed for your pitch for the Regtech category, which is wonderful. So let's move on then to our 7th of the 8 categories, and this is all about capital markets and wealth tech. And just lighting up and setting up right now from Bamboo is Sam Beebe, who is the operations director. So Sam, we can't see you, but we can see slides. So shall I assume that you are, there we are, we can see you now. Take a second to get ready, give me a thumbs up, and the time starts with your thumb.
Hi, I'm Sam. At Bamboo, we help financial service companies, new and old, to offer digital advice and investment journeys to their customers. So we do this by building and integrating what have become known as robo-advisory solutions, products that take an investor through an automated digital journey from onboarding to transaction and beyond. Excuse me, my slides. In the last round, we showed you some features from our white label robo-advisor product, and this was the core product in our suite. Automated investment journeys for what has traditionally been a very manual world. And we built a great business doing this. We have 20 financial institutions as our clients now across 4 continents. That includes Standard Chartered and HSBC. And those clients are now creating new revenue streams and attracting new customers as a result of our technology. So this is great. But this is just the beginning for us. And today I want to talk about our plans for the future, where we think this game of robo-advice and wealth tech is going, and to show you where we're putting some of our R&D effort. And the context here is the advice gap. So the advice gap is this phenomenon that most people can't afford financial advice, even though everybody needs it. And to some extent, robo-advice is helping, but there are 2 major limitations. First, today's robo-advice technology is limited to investment advice and misses the financial planning part of financial advice, which is arguably the part that's most useful to the most people. To solve this, we need to find ways of delivering planning advice digitally, which will require incorporating data from individuals' whole financial context, not just their available capital and risk appetite. Second, today's robo-advice technology does nothing for the large number of people, particularly young people, who don't have any money to invest in the first place. And to bridge this gap, advice needs to start early in one's financial life and be geared towards helping people form healthy spending habits. So we're working on a set of features that will, give digital banks the power to offer this level of advice to their customers. So what does the personal CFO do? Well, first encourages you to set up long-term financial goals, regardless of your financial status or your age. As part of the goal-setting process, the personal CFO will also try to predict your future. So we have a dedicated team that's evolving our current algorithms, which are something called People Like Me, into a more sophisticated predictive model to help determine sensible plans given an individual's profile, habits, behaviors, and so on. Third, and perhaps most powerfully, once you've planned your financial future, the personal CFO can help you visualize the direct impact of spending decisions on your future finances. So by directly linking spending patterns to goals and using a concept we've called responsible to spend value, the CFO can show you the future and affect real behavioral change. So like our existing robo products, personal CFO will be delivered as a suite of APIs, calculators, and custom modules that can be integrated into any digital banking ecosystem. So quickly to conclude, we're building...
Sam, I'm afraid I have to cut you off there as your time is up, but I'm going to welcome back the judges who are no doubt have more questions for you. So welcome back. If you could switch your cameras on, judges, thank you very much indeed. And who would like to go first? Questions to Sam. Isabel, let's come to you first. Thank you.
How do you make money?
Good question. So we have, aside from this idea that I've put to you today, our core business is 2 different variants of robo-advisor. So we have something called Bamboo Go, which is a sort of fast-to-market, off-the-shelf product, which is low integration and straight to market. We also have a build product, which is more of a customized build on top of our API library, which tends to be for the bigger financial institutions, tier 1 banks, and so on. So the idea behind, the CFO is that it would be a part of a Bamboo build project. The interest we've seen in this kind of technology has come from our digital bank prospects and customers with whom we've started these conversations. So the idea would be either an API, cost per API call-driven model, or indeed as part of the services layer of our business, which is an implementation upfront fee to build this kind of technology for a bank.
But so then you'd be dependent on the ability of the banks to actually distribute that to their clients, right?
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of the business we're in. So we're a B2B2C. We're always building technology which is for our customers, but ultimately for their customers. So we kind of have a vested interest in making sure that everything we do is ultimately interesting to the end user as much as to our clients, the financial institutions we're selling to.
Good. Thank you, Isabel. Any other questions to Sam from the judge panel? Ez, let's come to you.
Yeah, so what's your traction like to date? Which kinds of organizations are you working with today?
We have quite a broad span of financial institutions. We're a global company. We're Singapore headquartered. So a lot of our early clients were over in Southeast Asia. So we've worked with BCA is a large Indonesian bank over there. CIMB is a bank based in Malaysia and Indonesia, a client of ours. FWD is a large insurance company over there. So we've got a bunch of early clients over in Southeast Asia, build projects. And latterly, we're focusing heavily on the US, where we have a couple of projects coming live online this year. We also have a presence in South Africa and the Middle East. And obviously, Nick and my colleague and I are here in London as well, looking after the European market. So Europe's a relatively new market for us. But as a company, our focus is on kind of globalizing our products and making sure that our APIs are localized to all the markets we want to be in.
Thank you.
Great. We're into about the last 30 seconds. Any other questions for Sam? Okay, well, in which case, let's leave it there. Sam, thank you very much indeed. So that was Sam Beebe, Operations Director from Bamboo for the Capital Markets and Wealth Tech segment as well, for the category of Wealth Tech and Capital Markets there. So as we go into our very final category of the 8, we're now going into the wildcard category. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome, as they light their camera, Sam Seaton, who is the CEO of MoneyHub. So Sam is just switching on her camera right now and setting up slides. I'm going to reset the clock while you're doing that. Sam, wonderful to see you. So if you have slides set up, and give me a thumbs up and I will start the clock on your instruction.
Right, ready to go.
Very good. Time's yours.
The challenge we've got today is that money matters. But managing money to date has been a dreadful experience for virtually everyone. I'm Sam Seaton, CEO of MoneyHub, and we here at MoneyHub want to enhance the lifetime financial wellness of people, their communities, and their businesses. But how do we do that? Well, 2 key ingredients: people and our product. Our team is a perfect balance of execution, commercial acumen, and technical expertise. I've got to give a special shout out to Dave Tong, the open banking expert, and now leading the UK's representation on the Open Finance International API Standards Working Group for ISO T68. And while the world is talking about open banking, we are already doing open finance. The product has a unique breadth and depth of data, and it automatically sorts it all out. So transfers between accounts are netted off, personal versus business transactions are identified, and unrecognized merchants are identified effortlessly. This, combined with our Nudge Store, provides an incredible tech stack, enabling our enterprise partners to solve real-world problems now. Let me show you an example of enabling a holistic digital wallet right now. Everything in one place gives immediate clarity and control. Nudges to make your money work harder and go faster and further. This savings nudge uses open banking and variable recurring payments to make investing money effortless. Let's sweep £235 now. Using Starling, supporting variable recurring payments, we can confirm that, job done. But as easy as that is, let's have a quick look at investment analysis. Because although I'm keen to see the performance of my investments, I'm even keener to see the impact. And MoneyHub's platform enables the level of insight on the impact as well. So I get to see that my investments help 4 children this year. And Melindu, he gets to have a healthy meal a day, bin free. And that makes me feel good. To sum up, the opportunity is massive, the product is built, the market's ready, and MoneyHub is the answer. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sam. And you had about 10 seconds to go there, so that's perfect timing. Let's get the judges back, and no doubt they have questions for you. So as the judges light their cameras, who would like to go first with a question to Sam? Ez, let's come to you.
Hi, Sam. I'd just like to ask what the revenue model is for you.
So software as a service, we have API, pays per month, And then the enterprise model is a minimum commit, and then software as a service again per user.
And so each user just pays a fixed fee. There's no transaction fees. There's no referrals, no commissions on sales.
No, at the moment it's a straight software as a service. We sell to the enterprise, and it's a volume related fee.
Okay, thank you.
And what does it amount to, sorry, what does that amount to in terms of average revenue per user?
So between £4 and £10 per user per year at the moment.
Okay, and what's that in relation to your cost of acquisition?
So it's pretty good actually, because the customers that we have at the moment cover, right now cover 30 million consumers in the UK. So even with our current customer base, the ability to scale is effortless, really.
Can I ask why you're not taking a referral or commission fee?
So to date, we've been completely product agnostic, and we don't sell data. So I'm a little bit curious on that, and I think there's ways of making that work, but I'm a big believer in the transparency going forward. So that's probably why we haven't done that to date.
Okay. But fundamentally, you allow me to see all my accounts and then to sweep money into different savings or savings products.
Yeah, and for example, income and expenditure analysis for different wealth managers. So the use cases are kind of quite broad. So I've brought to life one of them today. The other video is about where you can do the benefits matching. So well-won money for Aon are actually able to save their employees of employers that they support £73 per month on average, which I think is amazing actually. I was really surprised.
And what does the future...
Any other question? Sorry.
And what does the future roadmap look like for you, Sam?
So it's great actually. I think the market has really woken up, and with the digital transformation that's going on in the asset management world, the pension world, where traditionally, you've had to reach customers, but you have such terrible, what I call engagement levels. And the amazing bit is being able to put open banking, so money that I use today, combined with what I need for the future. I think that really opens up a whole new gambit for that world.
Thank you.
Any of the other judges have any questions for Sam? While we have Sam here, we have a few minutes. We've probably got about another 20 seconds. So if there are some questions, we by all means ask them. If not, we can wrap up there. I'm looking at boxes of judges who all seem very satisfied, Sam. So Sam Seaton, thank you very much indeed from Money Hub. Thank you very much. You switch off your camera now. That would be great. So now what happens is the judges are going to go off and deliberate. So we've heard from Wirex, Georgi, you remember at the very beginning, Applies Blockchain, Adi Ben-Ari. We've heard from Perks, Stella Smith, Quotes Vine, Daniel Lane, Paycor, Den Medikoff, Apiax, Alan Blanchard, Bamboo, Sam Beebe, and Money Hub, Sam Seaton. So what happens now is the judges are going to go off and deliberate. But I'm very excited about the next section. While they do that, I think they've got quite a tough call. Just in case, again, you're wondering why I didn't ask Sam Edge any questions, it's just because of corporate approvals. He now is sitting with the other judges as well, thinking about who is going to be named the Pitch360 winner. But I'm really excited because when we talk at the beginning of the session today about the impact that this has, we're now going to interview somebody for whom it has made a massive impact. So I'm delighted today to be joined by the Director of Strategy of Onfido. So I understand right now Zara Yakub will be switching on her camera. And just to give you a little bit of sense of what Zara does, Zara, wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for being with us today. A little bit of insight on you. I know you know this, but I'm going to let our audience know. Director of Strategy, all about strategy and goal setting, geographic expansion, priority alignment, right the way across the organization, which is quite a remit. Before that, you were also in a company called Improbable through that hypergrowth phase that a lot of organizations aspire to achieve, and hopefully some winners today will do that. And then also you've been involved with customer engagement and sales and fundraising, corporate processes, etc. So welcome. So I had the great privilege of having a few moments with you just to ask you some questions actually. And so you were the winner, the finalist in the Regtech category back in 2017. And how big was your team then, and where are you now?
Yeah, so we were a lot smaller back then. We were just over 130 people back at the end of 2017, and we had 4 offices across the UK, which is our HQ office, and then the US, and then we have an engineering office in Portugal and India. And now, you know, we've grossly doubled that, and we're about 380 people now across 7 countries, and we have 12 offices globally, still primarily based in the UK, and then in the US we have a San Francisco office, a New York office, and we recently made an acquisition in New Mexico, Albuquerque. And then we have 2 offices in Portugal, and we obviously have India, and then we opened up France, Germany, and Singapore over the last 12 to 18 months. So we've been very busy and expanding the headcount and our international presence as well.
Well, one of the questions I was going to ask is, what have you done since winning? Well, clearly expanding.
Yeah.
But have there been some major areas that you focused on since winning the competition? And I guess my sort of second question within that is, what did winning mean to you?
Yeah, I think so. We've been up to a lot since 2017. I mean, I've been at the company for 8 months now, and even in that small amount of time, we've achieved a lot. And I mean, regional and international expansion has been a big focus for us. We've also been hiring in some really excellent senior talent as well. We hired our CRO last year from FordRock. The year before that, we hired our CFO from PayPal, and we keep adding to that roster of really, really brilliant talent. We've continued to develop our product, of course, to remain competitive in the market. And I think that's evidenced by the customers that we've secured. You know, we have big customers like SecureKey, one of the leading authentication companies in Canada, and World Remit, which is an international remittance service provider. And then we have customers who've been with us for some time who continue to renew with us, like Bank, Revolut, Monzo, and our relationship with those companies has gone from strength to strength, which is great. Just a couple of other kind of quick wins, and just to mention is that we also this year achieved SOC 2 compliance, which I think showcases our commitment to protect customer data and privacy, which is fantastic. And the kind of most recent achievement, I guess, was about 2 months ago, during all the kind of craziness of coronavirus. We secured our last round of funding as well of 100 million by TPG Capital. So it's been a busy couple of years, and I think in terms of Pitch360, I think it was a really nice validation point for us to kind of go on our journey, so to say, like after we secured that. So for us, it's been a roller coaster, of course, because that's what startups are. But yeah, we've had a lot of great wins in the last couple of years.
Amazing. And thinking about the you talk about the sort of like privacy and identity, and I know you're doing a lot with the government at the moment, particularly around the health passport, I understand. So talk to us a bit about what that initiative is and what you're focused on at the moment and what you can expect.
Yeah, so just to give a bit of preamble on kind of what health passports are and immunity passports. So as we're all aware, there's still quite a lot of uncertainty about whether we can have permanent immunity from COVID-19 and whether that's possible. There are advances being made in testing, tracking and measurement. You know, we see that on the news every day, which is improving our understanding of the virus and an individual's resistance to having recovered from it. There'll be a point where the scientific community will have a good understanding of who is safe to participate in and help rebuild the economy. As an example, allowing people to return to their physical workspaces, facilitating safe international travel. You know, both of these are examples of things that are critical to economic recovery and growth to the UK. And so in order for this to happen, and this is where we come in, we need a system of certification which can help identify people who can essentially help participate in the economy and prove that it's safe to do so. And so we're essentially tying someone's identity to their, I guess you could almost say, like, to their health status, to whether they are immune to COVID-19 and or potentially other diseases. And in terms of where we're at the moment, I mean, we're talking to lots of different organizations, including the government, and you know, this is one of those topics where I think everyone's very interested, but there's naturally some concerns around, you know, how we use this data. And right now we're taking a very multidisciplinary approach, you know, putting kind of the ethics to the forefront of this conversation. And yeah, I mean, the next couple of months will be very telling. And we, as you know, we have a team dedicated internally to this project. So yeah, it's a big initiative for us internally as well.
It is, and I think at the core of all of that is there are some really big sort of consumer questions around trust. You know, who do you trust with your data? Who do you entrust to represent you as you give your data up, and who do you trust to govern that well as well? So it's fantastic. And in terms of, you know, a roadmap, I mean, every single person on this call is thinking about their post-COVID strategy.
Yeah.
We are now redefining post-COVID strategies in terms of there's a short-term plan, and then there's the medium-term, longer-term, utterly unknown plan. And so thinking about the knowns and the unknowns. I mean, working with your customers as well, they must be thinking about what the future looks like. I mean, could you shine some light on what are the big questions people are calling out?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, I mean, we have, you know, our customer base consists of, you know, a mixture of kind of enterprise clients, upper mid market, more kind of startups. And you know, Corona has been an interesting learning experience, I think, for everyone, in that when it first hit, I mean, we naturally had some clients in certain verticals where volumes dramatically decreased. You know, hospitality and the transportation industries were very, very heavily impacted. You know, thankfully, we're starting to see them go back to BAU, and we're able to support them now that, you know, things are going back to kind of usual. But yeah, I mean, we're here to kind of help support our customers as much as possible. You know, we are a third party kind of layer on top of their products. So for us, it's, you know, how can we help them quickly ramp up and get as many volumes as possible so that we can, you know, to make sure that they're successful in their endeavors as well. And I think just one more point to add to that in terms of just kind of digital identity and the role of digital identity in supporting the recovery. I think, you know, we're seeing a big kind of vertical for us to focus on is financial services. And I think what was really interesting about this whole situation is that we saw a consolidation of financial services being the number one vertical for us. Like, we saw a lot of our existing clients, like Revolut as an example, who, you know, we saw lots of volumes because they were launching in the US around about the time that Corona hit. And we've seen that more and more customers are kind of, especially in financial services, are facing the same kind of thing. So for us, we've seen certain verticals be incredibly successful and other ones not less so, but are starting to go back to BAU, which is great.
And it's just going to be very interesting, isn't it? Kind of thinking about different sectors and also how they interact, and looking ahead is, you know, kind of what identity means in 5 years' time could be completely different, could be completely reframed by all of these conversations that are going on at the moment. Zara, it's been fantastic to have you on. Thank you so much for your insights. Congratulations again for winning a few years ago, but also coming back. It's really important that that people do come back and they talk about what this has meant for them, what it's meant for an organization that's going through extraordinary growth, but also in terms of your policy engagement. You know, really think about some of those critical questions as you navigate and help your customers and society as a whole navigate the questions of identity, and ultimately it's all about trust. Zara, it's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining us again. If I could ask you please to switch off your camera, because I have some great news. Actually, we have a winner. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to invite all our judges please to put their cameras back on again. Would be great. They've had a tough job, I understand. It's been great deliberation. So I've got the result that's come in here. And so thank you everybody for, first of all, for your questions to all of the challengers today. I know it's really important for them as they think about their 3 minutes of pitching, but it's also incredibly engaging to get questions from the judges. So thank you all so much for that. What I'm also going to do is invite all our competitors now to light their cameras, all 8 of them. If you could please, if you're presenting today, light your cameras. Welcome back. We're going to announce a winner any second now. So I'm just going through some last company admin because I'm getting live posts from the Innovate finance team. Welcome to my home, by the way. I hope welcome to everybody, but I'm just getting some final instructions through from those. And I just want to be sure that we have everybody lit. So we have, I believe we do. So there would be a massive drum roll at the moment, because I'm delighted to say, ladies and gentlemen, that the winner of the Innovate Finance Pitch 360 competition for 2020 is Wirex. Congratulations to Georgi. Well done indeed. Many, many congratulations. Fantastic presentation. I thought you might like to know why. I think it's always very useful to do that.
Yes, please.
challenger bank and profitable, which I'm told is rarer than a unicorn, which I think is fantastic. You had a very differentiating offer from what's out there, an exciting plan ahead, and finally a profitable neobank. And your growth to date has been impressive, if not astonishing. So, Georgi, congratulations. I'm going to ask you now to take your mute off, and I wondered whether you'd like to say a few words as the winner of Pitch 360.
Well, firstly, thanks very much to everyone who voted, to the judges, I think there was quite a bit of our own customers voting in the preliminary stages as well as our employees, obviously. And yeah, it's a great achievement given how many companies were competing. And I've listened to all the pitches today, and I can't say I'm not surprised. So I'm a little bit surprised because some of the pitches were really strong, and I think there's room for us to, as well as room for everyone who took part, to talk between each other. And that's, I think, one of the big benefits of events like this, that there's quite some collaboration opportunities that could come out of events like this, which is something we saw from previous events as well. And yeah, so
yeah,
thanks very much to everyone.
It's a pleasure, and many congratulations again. So I'm just going to give you a round of applause on behalf of the 117 participants who are here, in addition to all our competitors, to everybody who pitched. Thank you so much for being part of that. It is worth reminding everybody that 100 people did pitch to be part of this competition, to have got down to the final 8, so you're all winners in your own category, and then to crown one 360 winner as well is incredibly important. I wish you every possible success. Thank you so much, each of you, for pitching. I invite you now to remove your cameras, you will, if I do the final admin. Perhaps you'd like to give the audience a wave as you go. Amazing competition. Judges, thank you all again. It's been wonderful to have you part of this. I know Innovate Finance truly value all your support and all your help throughout this entire process as well. And of course, Georgi will be hearing from Innovate Finance, who'll be in touch about the win as well. Final thoughts of Innovate Finance. If you don't follow them on Twitter, it's @infin. You'll obviously see lots on the hashtag today, but also you might be interested because they put out daily updates for the fintech community. And also you'll find out lots of news updates, and also do sign up for their membership newsletters as well, because they are incredibly informative. I pick out one in particular that really strikes me as incredibly valuable for the benefit of the industry and the ecosystem, and all of us, all entrepreneurs together, and the organizations, is the one of the COVID-19 impact. It's all about the global fintech market and the impact that this is having, and that's in association with the Cambridge Centre for Alternative Finance and the World Economic Forum. So do check that out. It's incredibly important. Also, see you at many future events as well. Pitch 360 next year for sure. I'm just going to wrap up there by thanking all our participants one more time, and remember these brands, because these are the fintech success stories of tomorrow. And when I say tomorrow, I'm hoping that's going to be first thing tomorrow, because no doubt you're all going to get in touch. Wirex are winners. Applied Blockchain, Perks, Quotevine, Paycor, APX, Bamboo, and MoneyHub. My name's Julia Streets. It's been my pleasure to be your MC today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next year at Pitch